So these are our objectives that we usually have in our folders. I'm not sure if you've got them at home or not. The first one we're going to look at is just writing probabilities using fractions, percentages and decimals. You already know how to do this, so this should just be a short recap. Okay, so we're going to have a quick recap on probability. So you know that the probability scale goes from 0 to 1, and it can be anything in between those two numbers. They can be decimals, fractions or percentages. We also use words to describe probability. So for 0 it's impossible and for 1 it's certain. Okay, we're going to look at these and decide if these could be a probability. So remember that we go from 0 to 1 and anything in between can be fractions, decimals or percentages. So the first one, 0.3, can it be a probability? Yes, it's between 0 and 1. Negative 0.3, no, it's less than 0. 1.3, no, it's greater than 1. Okay, pause the video and have a go at the rest of these. Here's the answers for you. If there's any you're not sure of, then just send me a message and I can explain them to you. So we've completed the first learning objective. We're now going to look at the second two on this list. So I already know most of you know this, so this is just going to be a quick recap. If we wanted the probability of red, we are looking at how many red sections there are out of how many sections there are altogether, and the easiest way to do this is to write it as a fraction. It's also the most accurate way. So you'll notice the notation I've written down. This is really important. So the P, the capital P, represents probability. And then inside the brackets is what we want the probability of. So P, probability, inside the brackets of red. So there are 4 red sections out of 12 in total, so 4 over 12, and then we can simplify that by dividing by 4 to get 1 over 3. Next I'm going to do the same for blue, yellow and green. Next I'm going to look at the probability of getting 2 or more colours, so the probability of getting red or blue. Now we just add together how many sections, so we've got 6 out of a possible 12, so that's our fraction, and then we can simplify. Now I'm going to do the same for red, blue or green. Sometimes they will ask you the probability of it not being something, so for example the probability of it not being red. Now there's 2 ways you can look at this. The first one is to count up everything that isn't red, so all of the yellow, all of the green and all of the blue. The other way you can look at this is, you know the probability of red is 4 over 12 or a third, and then you could subtract that from 1. So 1 subtract 4 over 12 gives you 8 over 12, or 1 subtract a third gives you 2 over 3. As well as spinners and cards, they tend to use dice quite a lot in probability questions. So here we've got the probability of 5. Obviously there's only 1 5 on a dice, the probability is 1 over 6. They might also ask the probability of getting 2 different numbers, so probability of getting 2 or 3, there's obviously 1 2 and 1 3, so that's 2 out of a total of 6 numbers, and you can also simplify. Sometimes they ask you for the probability of, say, odd, even, prime, so you need to know your number facts as well. Another way they might ask is the probability of it being more than or equal to, less than or equal to. So for this example, the probability of a number being greater than 2, so that doesn't include 2, is going to be 4 over 6. and again you can simplify. So then you can have probability less than 6, that doesn't include 6, is going to be 5 at 6. And then remember that you can have your less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So the probability that it's greater than or equal to 2, so that means it does include 2, is going to be 5 over 6. Okay, pause the video and have a go at these questions. This worksheet is in Teams. I don't need to see it uploaded, but it should only take you about 5 minutes just to recap what we've just done. And here's the answers to those questions. So we've done the first 3 learning objectives. We're now going to look at the fourth one, which is drawing sample space diagrams and using them to find simple probabilities. For the sample space diagrams, we're going to look at 2 spinners. We are basically creating a table with all the possible outcomes. So you need a table with one side having spinner 1 and the other having spinner 2. So it says I spin these 2 spinners and then I add the numbers together. So if I'm filling in the table, I just add the 2 numbers together. So we've got 1 and 1 is 2, 3 and 1 is 4, and so on. So now we look at where probability comes into it, using our notation again. So the probability of getting a 4, we're only looking at the grey outcomes because the top and the left-hand row are spinners. So there are 2 ways of getting a 4 out of 9 possible outcomes. Another example would be the probability of getting an even number. So there's the 2, 4, 6, 4, 6, 8. So now we've got 6 out of a possible 9, and you can simplify. Okay, the probability of getting a square number. So the square numbers are 4, 4, and 9. So that gives us 3 out of a possible 9. And the probability of getting a number greater than 4. Okay, pause the video and have a go at these 6 questions. Here are another few questions for you to have a go at. So pause the video and then press play again to see the solutions.